رجال أعمال شيعة وصحفيين شيعة وصحف، مثل لو حكي عن مجلة الجنوبية.
We also sanctioned Hezbollah financial institutions like the Jamal Trust Bank. And we were careful to do so, awaiting for Moody's to come out with their credit ratings first that downgraded Lebanon. And the day after, we piled on and did Jamal Trust, but we weren't responsible for the downgrading. But we weren't responsible for the downgrading. So during my tenure as Assistant Secretary of NEA, I traveled to Lebanon twice or three times. On all occasions, I had very public dinners with Shiite businessmen opposed to Hezbollah that were organized by my dear friend, Laqman Saleem. The idea was to promote economic opportunities in Shiite areas to help wean the community from its dependence on Hezbollah. And we worked hard at that. And I think we made some initial progress. We supported civil society, Shiite civil society. So I met with courageous members of the Shiite civil society opposed to Hezbollah's authoritarianism. I met with Shiite journalists, people who wrote for Jenobiya, a great online site in the South that reports on Hezbollah's corruption and repression. With the transition to the Biden administration and a more conciliatory approach to Iran in the context of going back into JCPOA negotiations, I think Hezbollah is optimistic that soon, with an end to sanctions, Iranian funding will resume at the levels that were before the maximum pressure campaign. And then, of course, just 3 weeks after the Biden administration took office, Hezbollah dispatched a really sophisticated hit team to kill Laqman Saleem in South Lebanon. Hezbollah is an Iranian proxy terrorist militia that dominates Lebanon, threatens Israel, serves Iranian interests, and it's impossible to dislodge in large part because it's so popular with the Shiite community in Lebanon. I think the Obama administration took a lot less interest in Lebanon. They did little to consolidate March 14th election victory in 2009. And their subsequent effort to forge a détente with Iran and entering into nuclear negotiations with Iran. I think they canceled programs in Lebanon with anti-Hezbollah Shiites, diminishing some of the pressure on Hezbollah. We undertook a number of activities, right? So first and foremost was to deny the organization revenues, right? They had the maximum pressure campaign on Iran, which limited funding from Tehran to the organization, cutting back some of the, $800, $700 million a year provided directly to Iran. I think in part, that's why Hezbollah became drug traffickers in such a large scale. They needed to fill the gap.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.